Hi everybody, I'm back with part 2 of the mistakes I made as a new Uber driver. Okay, so I was telling you in part 1 about the importance of having your correct navigation system chosen. Do not choose Uber driver, please. Choose Waze or Google Map. Make sure the storage on your phone is not too high. If it is, clean the phone out, get rid of all that junk so that the phone can run properly. And I started getting into, well, anyhow, with no further ado, this is part 2. Okay, as a new Uber driver, especially if you're driving passengers, if you're a rideshare driver, you need to be very cognizant of how you're driving. Not only can Uber tell by the app if you're braking too harshly, if you're accelerating too quickly, if you're speeding, if you've had an accident, they can tell all of these things by the app. I don't want to make you paranoid, but what I want to call to your attention is that these are important things because the passenger that's sitting in the back seat, I'm going to say 50% of the time, is not paying attention to the road as you are. And we all know how annoying it is to be a passenger doing something on our phone and someone keeps hitting the brakes. You know that all too well, right? I do. Okay, so as a new Uber driver, you must brake gradually, softly. You want to approach the light or the stop sign as smoothly as possible. Pretend you have a cup of coffee on the dashboard and you don't want to spill it. That's pretty much how you need to apply your brakes as an Uber driver to get a good rating from the passenger, which is very, very important for you. Also, you don't want to accelerate too quickly from traffic lights or stop signs. Just, again, the passenger may not be paying attention, and you don't want them to be jolted around in the back. It's as simple as that, okay? And more importantly, if they have a cup of coffee or something, you don't want them spilling it on themselves. So, be cognizant of how you're driving as a new Uber driver, because ratings are everything. If your rating falls below I believe it's a 4.8, Uber can actually deactivate your account or can suspend you. So you need to get some good ratings. And in the beginning, people are usually pretty generous because they know you're new. But after a while, they're going to judge you harshly. So make sure you're driving properly. Okay. Other mistakes that I made. Do not drive around and waste gas waiting for rides to come in, deliveries or ride shares, because there's really no point to it. What you do want to do is you want to make sure you have your Uber passenger app open as well as your driver app. Now, the reason for that is because if you are not getting incoming, what we call the ping, if you're not getting incoming pings for rides, you may have a bunch of other Uber drivers around you who are getting the signal first. So, keep your passenger app open underneath your rider app. If you are cell phone savvy, and you kind of need to be to have this sort of job, it should be no problem at all for you to switch back and forth from the driver app to the passenger app. Now, I do not suggest you do this while you're driving. However, Again, if you're driving, you're most likely making money unless you're driving around wasting gas. Look at the passenger app, see where your competition is. When you look at that passenger app, you'll be able to see a blue dot with a little arrow, and there should be a car on top of that blue dot, and that is your car. Now, this is for Uber rideshare drivers only. Uber Eats, I can't speak to that because I'm not sure. It's more important for rideshare drivers, okay, to know where your competition is. Now, that being said, if you see you are surrounded by other Uber drivers, you want to strategically place yourself on a street that is probably near the main drag, the main road, but a little bit set a ways from it, so that if you want to think of things in terms as north, south, east, west, if in your little area you are the furthest east of all your other drivers, or the furthest west, or the furthest north, or the furthest south, then you're probably going to get the first signal to, to the passenger's pickup location. So place yourself strategically, get yourself away from your competition. If you're at a mall or something waiting for rides, you're not getting any incoming pings, and you look at the passenger app and you see you're surrounded, get out of there. Just choose another location. There's plenty of places that you can park near hospitals, near train stations. I don't know. That's just a couple of ideas. If you're driving at night near bars, near restaurants where people have been drinking, clubs are good on the weekends at night if you're driving at night. Sporting events, concerts, whatever. Those are just some ideas. So you need to be strategically placed, and you need to know how to do it. Okay. Thirdly, mistakes I made. I'm going to say the third most thing that I did, which I thought was a good thing at first, found out later on not for everybody, is do not talk too much. If you are a talker, and I am, you have to pay attention to your passengers. Sort of try and feel out their personality. If the person in your car is quiet and subdued, they may just want to be left alone to catch up on some phone calls or text messages. They may not necessarily want to be engaged in conversation. And occasionally, someone will give you a poor rating if you're a chatterbox. So, my best advice to you is you have to feel out each and every individual that gets in your vehicle. If they engage you in conversation, or if you just, say hello, introduce yourself, and maybe pay them a compliment, and then they start talking to you, okay, now you have someone who wants conversation. And occasionally you will get a good rating because someone truly enjoyed your conversation. But my point being is you need to distinguish the difference between the two. Okay, now, as you know, this is part 2 of the mistakes I made as a new Uber driver, Uber Eats driver. In my last video, I went into overtime and I got cut off. So I'm going to end this video now. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please let me know. And if you have any questions, my email should be above or below this video. Good luck to you, and make a lot of money. It's out there to be made. Thank you. Have a great day.